Hello, welcome to Mortgage 101. I'm Lisa Dwyer, and I am so pleased to be here. I just want to help my community, all of the people that live here and that watch, just try to help them save money, anything related with their home. Today's a little bit of a different show. I usually have a guest with me, and we like to banter back and forth, but today's a pretty emotional show for me. I'm going to give you a little bit about my history and why I'm so passionate about being here, right, to do this, to try and help you. I just started a new career with a company that helps families, and I couldn't be more blessed. And I was asked to do a small speech about my story, and I think that I want to share it with you today before our show, and explain to you why being debt-free and completely out of debt and having a budget is so important. It literally changed my life, and I'll tell you my story now, okay? If I get emotional, I apologize. I first want to thank Bruce Webster for sticking with me. He came to see me twice to sign up for this company, and the second time we met, I just gave him the $99 to please him. I really didn't have any ambition to start working with Primerica. I was still plugging along, thinking that my mortgage business was going to change, and one day the guidelines were going to open up so I could get some of these deals closed. Well, that didn't happen. I finally called him back after he left numerous phone calls in January, which was 6 months later, and said, okay, I'm ready. Please remember that everything happens in God's divine right order, and I didn't do one thing until it was my time. So you have to be passionate about wanting to change your life. My first day of appointments were on February 4th with Ian Pruckner. We went and did like 4 kitchen tables and 12 inches of snow, and I still fell in love with doing the business that day. I knew this was it. This was everything I have been doing my whole life, balled up into one career. Ian asked me to speak on my success, and I wasn't sure how I would explain it or even if I could. It made me think back on my many businesses I have owned and operated for the past 24 years and still didn't know how to tell my story, so I dug deeper. I thought about some of the good deeds I have done in the past, even as a young girl in 1st or 2nd grade. My mom and dad bought me a new coat, and the very first day I wore it to school, I came home without it. My mom said, "Where's your coat?" And I just looked at her and said, "Oh, well, I gave it to this boy at school who didn't have a jacket." She had a fit, of course, and I did get in a lot of trouble, and I had to wear my old crappy jacket for the whole year, but I didn't care. He needed a jacket, and apparently London fog meant nothing to me, even though my mom yelled, "It was $100." It wasn't that long ago when I was at the gas station and this lady came in and she was scraping change to get gas. I could see outside that she had an older car and it was full of young children. I only had $40. I only had $40. I gave it all to her. She was so happy I saw tears in her eyes. These things fill my heart more than anything I could ever have myself. But boy, did I hear about it from my husband, Mike, about giving our last $40. He was so upset. He said, "Why didn't you just give her half of that so I don't have to scrape up change for gas?" Well, he already knew the answer. I give all I have to help others, and I always will. I tell my husband, Mike, one of these days, all my sacrifices and good deeds will come back tenfold. Well, now that God has placed me with Primerica, I think they're going to come back 100-fold. I've been asking God to rain on me, not just dribble. I've been asking for a downpour, and it is raining. It's raining closings, recruits, sales, and referrals, and it is storming. And, for those who know me, know that I'm going to ride that lightning, and that's a Metallica song. So for those of you who don't know me, know that. Okay, looking back at my past careers, I started feeling like they were all pieces of my life puzzle. My very first business was Sparkle Time Cleaning Service at 18 years old. I got rolling by literally putting roller skates on and rolling down the road. I dropped off hundreds of flyers into mailboxes. I received a couple homes, and that led to a couple referrals, and that led to lots more referrals. Well, fast forward 12 years to a crew of almost 20 employees, 110 homes, and 20 commercial accounts. During my business growth, I attended college and received a bachelor degree in business and a minor in finance from CMU. I met my wonderful husband, Michael, and we decided to move up north to Holly, which inspired me to sell the business. So now Deanne, Mike, Stephanie, and I live in Holly with some horses, chickens, bunnies, and some other critters. Looking for a new career, I found a loan officer position. I was helping people save hundreds of dollars a month with refinancing, helping people buy their first home, being invited to housewarming parties, barbecues, getting referrals, and making a very good living. Well, that's when mortgages were like the wild, wild west. If you had a pulse, I could get you closed. Things are much different now, of course, and many of you know that, but I'm still here to help you get that done. I also became a rep for a company that helped people pay their mortgages off sooner by making biweekly payments. In October of 2007, my dad passed away unexpectedly with a brain aneurysm. It was the most devastating thing that has ever happened in my life. He has always preached that if you get to get out of debt and to save for a rainy day. Well, in December of 2007, I read the book Financial Peace by Dave Ramsey. I was obsessed. I had to do this for my dad, for me, and for my family. After we made our debt snowball, I was shocked to see that we were $70,000 in debt between credit cards, car notes, and miscellaneous debt. We did our plasectomy, which means the girls and Mike and I cut up all the cards. We made a table out of it as a reminder of our accomplishment. And I use it to show people that they can do it. We worked very hard for 5 years to become debt-free. We haven't used a card since, and I'm so proud of that. I was so into the whole concept, I gave his books as closing gifts, received my accreditation from his university, and volunteered my time to teach it at the church and to the kids at school. I am so happy we did this. It was a life changer for us. My first 9 or 10 years of mortgage career were awesome. Well, we all know what happened next, right? The drastic turn of the economy, the industry, and people's attitudes changed as well. It was very difficult to get people closed, even though we tried as hard as we could. I am one of those people who are relentless. I will not give up on you. I will work as hard as I can to get your loan closed. 2013 was the worst year financially, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Mike and I separated. I was broken, and I had no way out, and I didn't know what I was going to do. Well, I knew I just couldn't live this way anymore. We not only used our emergency fund, we used all our life savings. We cashed in all our 401ks, our investments, everything. We had nothing. We had such a horrible year, we had to, for the first time, borrow money, and we have some medical bills now and are working on a much smaller snowball. But had we not been in the position of no debt, it may have been the last straw for me. I cried so much I didn't think there was anything left in me. I got on my knees and prayed. Then Bruce called me just one more time, and I finally called him back. I was immediately drawn to Primerica because of the products and service we offer people. People ask me, how do I do it? How did you break the company record in your second month? How do you get all the referrals? What's your secret? There's no secret. I truly believe in what we do, and if you truly believe it will help others, it will sell itself. If you believe that you will change people's lives, they will hear it in your voice, they will see it on your face, and they will feel it in your heart. My new career is like every piece of my life's puzzle. It's like I was born to be right here, right now, and I can't believe it myself. I get to help people with their mortgages. I get to help people save money doing an F&A. I get to change their life. It did mine, right? Get a financial plan. Understand what your goals are and what your budgets are, and learn to live within your means. And I'm going to show you today how to do that. I get to protect homes and incomes with the best insurance. We help people get out of debt by debt stacking, not only the benefits, which benefits the immediate family, but will be felt for generations to come. We help organize their finances with a budget and prepare them for early retirement. I actually get to use the degree I earned while scrubbing toilets. So all of those who have done a financial plan, you know how important it is, right, to have a budget, to understand how to be debt-free. And I'm really excited to say two things. One, Mike and I reconciled, and our 18-year anniversary is next month. And I really believe with all my heart now that I can offer more than just a mortgage, right? I can do so much more to help people, and it's a blessing. And I thank God every day for putting me through everything I had to go through so that I can be my own testimony, right? I make my test be my testimony in my life's work. So I hope today that I can show you how to do what I did. And it is hard work, but I can guide you and I can show you, and I would be happy to help you if you needed some individual help. And thank you for sharing my story, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Ed Ratzenberger. The Oregon Center has a Seniors Advisory Council. It is a group of 12 people who volunteer to help the Oregon Center staff with their efforts to provide the programs and services of the Oregon Center for the seniors of our community. The center would like your assistance in order to help determine the activities and services that seniors prefer. The center is a comfortable and enjoyable place for you to visit, to meet with your friends, and to make new friends. You're welcome to provide your suggestions for activities and services, for your general observations, for your complaints, and for your positive comments. If you would like to give your thoughts to the Advisory Council, please stop by the Orient Center and deposit your comments in one of the boxes that the Advisory Council has made available. If you want to include your contact information, we will respond to you within a few days. Or if you prefer, we also welcome and value anonymous comments. All contributions will be discussed. We hope you will respond, and we thank you in advance for your help. It is a pleasant place to enjoy and does not cost a penny to be a member. Membership in the seniors group is free. Thank you for your time. We look forward to hearing from you and to meeting you. Take care.
Thanks for being here today on Mortgage 101. I'm so excited about sharing my story with you and really helping you know how important a budget is to have and to become debt-free. Dave Ramsey, one of my great mentors, states, live like no one else so you can live like no one else, right? So that means what? That means that people who live off of credit cards, live week to week on their paychecks, don't have a savings account, right? They're living like everybody is now, but we want you to live like no one else, meaning don't use credit cards, right? Save for that rainy day, have a savings, have a plan, right? So you can later live like no one else, right? Because everyone else will still be doing the same things they're doing today, struggling, right? So first thing we're going to talk about is a budget, and then we're going to get into how to do a debt snowball or debt stacking, okay? A budget is essential. Why? Because when you live randomly or week to week or just live beyond your means, you're never going to get ahead. You're never going to obtain those goals that you may have, right? Maybe to have a child, to own your own home, to get out of debt, to have a trip, go to Europe, go to Florida, take the kids to Disney. There's so many things that are in your heart that you want to do, but you just don't know how you're going to get there. Well, I want to help you do that. I want to help you by just showing you baby steps, okay, on how to obtain your goals in a reasonable time and maybe without sacrificing too much. So having a budget will help you do all of those things. I have forms and things like that I can share with you, and for free. I will not charge you for any of this. This is part of my community service, right? I've been blessed, and I want to share my blessings with you, the community. So if you want to call me, you can do so at 248-627-7283, or you can email me at mtgsaver, S-A-V-E-R, @gmail, and I'd be happy to shoot you back an email with a template for your own personal budget. If you'd like to meet with me, I would be happy to do that as well, and you can call me anytime. The first thing you want to do with a budget is get your main things, your four walls, right? You want to make sure that you're housing your heat and your car, right? You need your car to get to work so you can make money to continue a budget. So your heat, your electricity, your propane maybe, right? Your mortgage, and food. Food is very important. You have to eat. So those are like your main four walls of your budget, and there's no variations on them. You must eat, you must have heat and power, and you have to get to work. So maybe if you just start with those four and figure out how much you spend on groceries and on all of your bills and kind of do an average. So start there with your budget. The second thing is what? Maintenance, repair, lawn services, clothing. And I know some people are like, I don't have enough to go, get clothing. Well, this is what a budget does. Even if you put $10 a month or $25 a month away in a budget, you'll be able to go to the store, and before you know it, you'll have a couple $100 and you can get some things. And hey, clearance racks and Goodwills, I'm not opposed to those either, right? People save a lot of money by shopping clearance and Goodwill. I mean, there's some great stuff. There's so many consignment shops now around town. You could certainly find one of them and get, $100 shirts or jackets or dresses or pants, and it might be $10, $11. So You know, we have to be savvy, right, to be able to save. You're going to talk a little bit, the next section is about medical, dental, prescriptions, right? Those are pretty essential things too. Those are kind of within your four walls. Some people can't live without their prescriptions, and I understand that with all the stuff going on with health insurance and stuff, it becomes very cumbersome and expensive. So that's very important as well. Child care, that's sometimes a necessity for some people, right? They have to work and their children have to be somewhere, so that's an expense. Legal expenses, alimony and child support, babysitters, transportation, right? Your gas and your oil, right? Car repairs, things like that. So all of these things are very essential to your budget. But then you have some other things like vacations, hobbies, memberships, restaurants, right? Movies, rentals, entertainment, books, magazines, things like that, that maybe are going to be secondary in the beginning until you get a budget and are accustomed to living a certain way within your means. And then maybe you'll be able to open up some of those other envelopes and start putting some money away for those types of things, vacations and leisure. I've been taught through several books and classes and training that you have to pay yourself first. So if it means a lot to you, and this is something that's important to you, date night with your wife or spouse, right? Something that makes you feel like you've earned, right? That you've worked all week and all your money went to bills, but there's very little left. Maybe treat yourself just a little bit, right? Because you need that reward. I mean, I want to reward you by becoming debt-free and doing a snowball and a debt stacking order to help you so that you don't have to scrape by, right? Or just barely live or not put any money in your savings. You know, everybody that I'm speaking to, right, is going to have different goals. And maybe your goal is just to get the emergency fund of $1,000 in the bank. Or maybe your goal is to go to Hawaii. You know, everyone's different. But it's all based on the same principles. So once you get your debt and your budget in order, right? So you've got your budget set, you know what you spend your money on, and now you think about your goals and dreams. What do you want to do in the next 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years? And then you put them aside, right? And so you write that down with your significant other and or your children, and you guys kind of make a plan. All I need to know is how much it's going to cost. I don't need to know your personal stuff. I just need to know if you want to go to Florida, you know, and go to Disney World and all these different places, it's going to cost X amount of dollars to do that, so that I can help you get that into your budget and save for that, and within a time frame. The last thing is, of course, insurance. To me, insurance should be in your four walls. If something happened to you and you were to die, you need to replace that income that you've lost, your family's lost. So if you don't make a house payment, you can catch up on that, right? If you don't make a car insurance payment, you can catch up on that. If you die, your family cannot make up that money. Insurance is so important. Life insurance is so important. And I've learned this recently, right? As I've understood and heard stories sitting in front of people on how their life changed when someone died and how they can't afford it and they've lost their home and they've lost so much. It's very heart-wrenching. So protecting income by life insurance is so important. So that has to be in your budget. And even if you have a small policy, right? Something just to cover, maybe make a few house payments, right, for a couple years, and then the family may have to sell the house. Something to get by to pay for groceries. How many people have just one person who's the main, the earner in the house? And when they're gone, what would that family do? So that's really important. So that needs to be part of your budget. Even if it's a small amount, you can, raise it later. The last thing is savings, right? Retirement, non-retirement, education, goals, dreams, emergency fund, taxes, income taxes, property taxes, things like that. There's so much into it, and I know it seems a little overwhelming, but I will help you, and I have templates for this. So again, you can definitely reach out to me, and I will send them to you. So we understand now the budget. I kind of went over my story about being debt-free and trying so hard and working hard on becoming debt-free. When we come back, I'm going to show you how to do a debt stacking or a debt snowball, as Dave Ramsey calls it, and exactly how to do that and how it works and how fast you can get out of debt. So come back, and we'll be right back, and we'll talk about that. Thanks so much. See See you in a minute. Welcome back. Thanks so much for watching today. It's a truly heart-wrenching, heartstring-pulling episode. I'm very passionate about it, and I'm so happy that I can help you get out of debt or obtain a budget that you can live on. And hopefully, one thing that you do today is just learn something that'll help your family financially, and that'll just make me so happy. So we're going to talk now about getting out of debt and the debt snowball. Okay, so to get out of debt, the number one reason, first of all, that most people don't save money is their level of debt, right? Unless you have a plan to get out of debt, you'll never be able to save the money that you need to help your family. So, all right, so we're going to look at this. We'll look first on the left part, okay, the debt stacking. When you have a lot of debts, you'll want to put them in order. Now, I can do this for you, but you can do it yourself, right? I did it myself with the help of the Dave Ramsey book and understanding it. And you put all your debts in order, and you put them in how much it is for each month minimum payment, all right? And that's all you care about, the name of the debt and what the minimum payment is. And you put them in order according to either interest rate or the minimum payment or how long you have. Let's say you have a car payment that only has 7 months left, but that's $400 a month. I may put that one first because that'll get you a big jump on your snowball. So if you have questions, you can contact me as well, but you can put the order in any order that you want, right? However you feel comfortable. When I did my first debt snowball, I put my lowest amount of balance, right? My lowest debt. So if I owed $100 on one card and then went to another card that was $200 and the next card was $250. So I did mine that way. Some people do them by balance, so it really just depends on your preference. In this order, they did a $220 monthly bill first, retail card number 1. Now you'll see that when you make your monthly payments, let's say you have a bill that's $58 and another one that's $42. When you pay that $58, some people just pay $60. Or when they pay the $42, they pay $45. We don't want you to do that anymore. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take all of those little extra payments that you make on your cards and put them all on the one on the top of your list of your snowball. So if your minimum was $120, you're going to take that $50 that you've spent on extra payments, extra minimum payments, right? You put them on top of the minimums, and you're going to put it on that first bill. So you're going to, in essence, try to pay that first bill off sooner. When that finally happens, right, and we'll give you the dates, and when you do a system, it tells you what date that'll be paid off based on your bills, right? So when that first bill is paid off, you take that total $220, you add it to the second bill, which is $353, and now you're paying $573 on that second bill. Well, that bill is going to be paid off much sooner because you've added more money to the minimum payment. All right, so then when that bill is paid off, see what we do next? So that may take 3, 5, 6 months to pay off that second bill, right? We don't know the balance of that. It might be a couple $1,000s. When you finish and pay that bill off, right, you're not going to take any more money. See how the bottom where the totals are? It's $27.20. You never stop paying that. That is your budgeted amount for all of your bills. And this is the difference, right? When somebody finishes paying that very first card off for $220, what do? They spend that money. they don't continue spending the same amount of money on their bills, right? They just stop paying the $220 and spend it on something else, which later when you look at it, you're really not accountable for any of it. What did you get for the $220 a month, right? So we really teach you to continue with that budget of $27.20 and just pay it off one at a time. So we've paid off the $220. Now we finally have paid off the second one, right? Credit card number 2. And now we've had $573 to add to what? The car loan of $551 a month. So we take $573, we add it to $551, and what are we paying? $1124. So now we're paying on this car note. Now, who knows how much we owe on this? This may take a year to pay off. It may take months, you know, we don't know the balance, right? We won't know your balances when you're doing it, but it's the same concept, you see? It doesn't matter what the balance is. The fact is you're paying it off so much sooner. All right, so the car loan, now you're paying $1124 on that. When you pay that off, what are you going to pay off next? A bigger credit card, right? Now your payment is $1424 because you took the $1124, added $303. Now you're paying $1427, I'm sorry. $1427 a month on your credit card. When that's done, in essence, right, you're adding the $1293 for your mortgage payment, adding $1427, and you're paying your mortgage off much faster at $2720 a month. All right, so every part of that, do you see how it goes down like stairs, right? Debt stacking. It makes sense. We did it with $70,000. As you've seen earlier, that was my debt-free table. That was our credit cards that we've had. And we did it doing this way, exactly the way that I just showed you. Now, if you're doing it like this, you're going to save so much money. And over to the other side here, I'll show you. Without debt stacking, right, you're paying it off in 23 years. I actually met someone the other day, and when I did their financial plan, it said they're going to be out of debt in 100 years. I was like, okay, we need to help you here, right? So we did the debt snowball, and we actually got them paid off in 6 years. So it's just understanding the system and following through with it, right? You have to do this, and it will work. I am living testimony of that. So with this one, we're paying it off in 9 years, which is 14 years sooner. If they did without debt stacking, right, they didn't save any interest. With debt stacking, they saved $130,643. Now, without debt stacking, they paid $214,000 in interest, and with debt stacking, they only paid $83,000, right? And the more money you can throw at the debt stack, the better off you're going to be. You know, you're going to be being able to put any extra money. When you get your tax return, right, throw some more money on your debt snowball. When you get a bonus, throw some money. Christmas, whatever you can do to try and pay that thing down as soon as possible. Because even though I tell you it may be 9 years or 6 years, you may be able to do it in 3 or 4. I think my debt snowball was actually, when I set it up, it told me 10 years. So, I mean, we just really worked hard. I mean, Dave Ramsey says rice and beans. Well, I didn't eat rice and beans for 5 or 6 years, right? I still ate normal food. But his motto is, right, to be gazelle intense. Do this like a cheetah's following you and you're the gazelle, right? Try to do it as fast and as quickly as possible, besides the fact that you can stay focused for a shorter amount of time than a longer amount of time. So once your debts are paid off, of course, we want you to invest, right? Invest that money. And you'll get, retirement money, right? You don't have to worry then. You can be self-funded, right? You won't have to worry or work till you're 80 years old. The sooner that you can invest some money. But we don't want to talk about investing until we're out of debt. So that is the show today. I'm so excited that I got to share that with you. Thank you for sharing my story and not judging me. Thank you for understanding that my passion is truly just to help you become debt-free, live like no one else, live on a budget, live within your means, and you will live a less stressful life, right? You become stress-free when you don't have all of these heavy burdens on you about debt. Your marriage will be happier, right? Mike and I reconciled, and we understood the value of just being together and working as a team on doing this kind of thing. So thank you, God bless, and I'll see you next week.